Tonight from downtown Indianapolis, the Fever welcome in the Seattle Storm with major playoff implications on the line tonight.
All right, y'all, look, it's a big one tonight, okay? It's an important one. This has got to be our best 40 minutes. This has got to be our most intentional 40 minutes in everything that we do, okay? Look, no one person needs to do anything outside of themselves, right? But every single person in this locker room needs to be the best version of themselves.
What if I told you the Indiana Fever didn't just walk away with a win? They carved their names into history 6 different ways in a single night. The Fever smashed the Seattle Storm by 20, but that wasn't the real headline. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, her Nike logo lighting up Gainbridge, and 5 teammates also missing, Indiana showed they're not just hanging on. They're rewriting records while fighting their way back into playoff form. This wasn't just about survival, it was a statement. And when Clark returns, the ceiling only gets higher. If you're with the Fever, drop fired.
Leah Boston and Izzy McMagor in the center jump circle. We are underway from Indianapolis. Odyssey Sims tracks down the jump ball and lays it in.
Sims wearing bright pink shoes, passes to Mitchell, right corner 3. That's good! And it's a record! 771 points and counting in 2025 for Kelsey Mitchell, the most in Fever franchise history.
What happens?
How often does a player not even touch the floor, yet the entire night revolves around them? That was the energy inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where Caitlin Clark stole the spotlight while rocking street clothes. Nike chose this game to unveil her signature logo, and the vibe flipped from regular season grind to a citywide celebration. The double CC symbol lit up the building, shining across digital boards and plastered on free t-shirts handed to every fan. Within minutes, the crowd became a sea of matching uniforms, transforming the arena into Caitlin Clark's.
It looks really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it, it's like aura.
We love it!
It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
I'm a big fan of it. Simplicity is the best. I like the design. Nike always does great with design, so I'm a huge fan of the logo.
It looks really cool. I was really excited to see it last night, and it looks like we're going to get shirts with it on it, so that's pretty exciting too.
I like it. I like how it incorporates the CC.
I love it. Double C's. Let's go, Caitlin!
From the opening buzz, her absence didn't feel like absence at all. Clark's brand owned the room. Gainbridge was less a basketball arena and more a living tribute to her influence. Everywhere you turned, it was CC, on banners, merch, and the hands of fans clinging to fresh gear. Pre-game ceremonies only raised the noise. Even after 16 straight games out, every mention of her name sent the arena into a roar. Clark may not have suited up, but her presence. But here's the twist. Clark wasn't the only one stuck on the bench. Sophie Cunningham, Chloe BBY, Sydney Carlson, and Ari McDonald were also sidelined. 5 Fever players in street clothes while the team limped in after losing 4 of their last 5. The playoff chase had tightened, and every game carried weight. A stumble here wouldn't just sting. It could bury them in the standings.
AB's been the one that's been most affected by all of our injuries. All of the point guards that know how to get her the ball and how they get it to her. And it's not just getting her the ball, it's where you get it to her. Getting it to her on time, on target, thinking one pass ahead, all that matters. And I thought today, her aggressiveness with the ball in her hands to the rim, getting into defenders, playing low to high instead of high to low. When she plays like that, there's nobody that can stop her. And, she set the tone for us, really on both ends. She had the NECA assignment as well and set the tone for us on both ends. And, she was terrific.
That pressure meant Indiana couldn't afford to just coast. The mix of celebration and desperation lit a fire under the roster. And while Clark's initials glowed from the rafters, someone else's game lit up the scoreboard. Indiana came out swinging, dropping 20-plus every quarter, never letting Seattle breathe. The Fever never trailed, and when the buzzer sounded, the board flashed 95 to 75.
It's special. I mean, you know, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together, and, you know, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, you know, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, you know, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool, and it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment, and
What
to celebrate.
defines the exact moment a season flips from fragile to fearless? You didn't have to wait long to find out in this game. Just minutes into the first quarter, Gainbridge fell into stunned silence when Lexi Hull and Gabby Williams collided, both diving for a loose ball. The crack of their heads clashing echoed across the floor, leaving fans frozen. Hull staggered off with a swelling not rising on her forehead, and suddenly all the hype of the night felt fragile. With 5 teammates already in street clothes, the thought of losing Hull too felt like a breaking point.
And Gabby Williams was slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
That is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
But less than 10 minutes later, the script flipped. Hull re-entered, bruise still visible, and the crowd erupted. Her return shifted everything. Aaliyah Boston said it best afterward. Hull is the definition of tough. Coach Stephanie White called the collision disgusting, but Hull herself laughed it off, joking that people told her she looked beautiful with the bump. That toughness became contagious. It gave Indiana a spark to rally behind.
Lexi Hull gets hit in the head there at the beginning of the game, comes back in. We could just speak to her toughness and what it meant seeing her fight through what sure was not very pleasant.
I feel like Lexi's the definition of tough.
Yes.
I think when you just think of her as a player, the way that she hustles, she likes to get loose balls, extra offensive possessions. That's what she does. I mean, she got hit, she came back and just continued to contribute again. Was a pest on defense, just making her presence felt, offensive rebounds, and that's just who Lexi is.
From that moment, the Fever weren't just competing, they were commanding. Every possession turned into a statement. The glass belonged to them, winning boards 42-28, with Hull snatching 9 alongside Boston and Aerial Powers. Inside, Boston dominated like it was her court alone. She poured in 27 points on 10-4, 18 shooting, bruising Seattle in the paint. Every post-up looked unfair, every finish screamed message. Indiana wasn't folding under pressure. They were flipping the script, proving that injuries wouldn't define their season. Their resilience would.
Yeah, I mean, that was disgusting. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I mean, it's who she is. You know, she's just a tough young woman who battles every possession, and you know, you can never tell if if she's hurt, if she's injured, if she goes down, if she gets back up. She just always has the same expression, and she just plays her butt off. And you know, I'm thankful that it wasn't worse. And thankful that she was able to come back. But she really kind of epitomizes the toughness and the grit of this team.
Williams drive, passes, Breezy with a block. She swats Malunga. Fever in transition left to right. Powers at the right elbow. Backing down Diggins, passes left wing. Kelsey fires, got it. The defense to offense, and the Fever lead by 10. It's 22-12 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Knocks down a 3.